today we're gonna be debunking some of the most popular gym myths that are holding you back from making great progress inside the gym. If you've ever heard stuff like lifting weights makes you bulky or you can turn fat into muscle, yeah, we're going there. Now let's dive in. If this is your first time here, my name is Alex Hager. I'm a celebrity trainer here in the Los Angeles area. I've had the honor of transforming some of the most incredible physiques in the world, from top celebrities to your everyday people. So on this channel, I want to share some of the things I've learned as a trainer for the last 11 years so you don't have to make some of the mistakes I did when I got into working out. Number one on this list is lifting weights makes you bulky. And this is mostly targeted towards women because a lot of times they avoid weightlifting because they are dead set on thinking they're gonna touch a weight and their arms are gonna explode. And that is so far from the truth. See, muscle takes time, consistency, and a lot of food to build. And most people won't even get bulky unless they're actively trying to for years. And this is especially important when it comes to women because women have a much lower testosterone level, which limits their ability to build muscle. Yes, it is still possible, but it's gonna take more time, more consistency, and more food to get there. If anything, strength training helps you get leaner and more toned by building muscle and burning fat simultaneously. So women, I want you to know that touching a weight is not gonna immediately result in your arms blowing up, and it's likely the first step to help you look and feel your best. Myth number two is spot reduction. So a lot of people think that you can spot reduce fat in a certain area. Now you hear this a lot when it comes to belly fat, for example. People think, okay, well, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of crunches because it's gonna burn my belly fat and my abs are gonna show through. It's important to understand that when you lose body fat, we can't choose where it comes from. It happens overall. Sure, it may linger in some areas more than you want, but the only way to alleviate that is to continue getting leaner. There is nothing you can do to spot reduce fat. Doing crunches will not give you less belly fat. That's just not how it works. If you want to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit, which means you burn more calories than you consume. And it is that simple. If you want to see your abs, stay in a calorie deficit, follow a full body workout routine, and do some cardio, and you'll get there way faster than a whole bunch of crunches. Myth number three is that cardio is the best way to lose weight. Now, this also is not true. Let me be clear, cardio is awesome, and if you do want to lose weight, you should absolutely do it to help accelerate your results. That being said, fat loss is done in the kitchen. You've probably heard the phrase, abs are made in the kitchen, and it's completely true and nothing's changed in that regard. What matters is being in a calorie deficit. For example, if your maintenance calories are about 2,000 and you subtract 500 from that daily, you consume 1,500 calories. There's about 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So if we subtract 500 daily and do that over 7 days a week, that will mean we're burning 3,500 calories extra in a week, which is about 1 pound of fat. If you repeat this pattern, you'll see fat loss time over time over time. Now, if you want to add in some cardio and do an extra 300 calories burned on via cardio daily, yes, you will accelerate those results. But it's absolutely essential that you understand that the only thing at the end of the day is a calorie deficit. You cannot out-train a bad diet. Cardio is a tool, not the foundation. The foundation is your nutrition. Myth number four is no pain, no gain. Now, I am all for working hard and pushing your limits, but soreness doesn't always mean it's an effective workout. Progress comes from consistency, not just destroying yourself. Train hard, but also train smart. Chasing pain can lead to injury and not always results. The last thing you want to do is pick up a weight that is far too heavy for yourself, getting injured, and then not being able to lift for weeks on end. That one workout could potentially ruin it all, so train smart and just don't be an idiot. Myth number five is that you have to train every single day. Now, this is a mistake that I personally made. When I got into working out, I worked out every single day. And honestly, I get it. Once you fall in love with the gym, it feels like a routine, and when you're not working out, it feels like your whole day can be messed up. But you have to overcome this. There's nothing wrong with daily activity. So on my rest days, I like to hike, I like to stay active because it gives me some of that pleasure of having my routine. But having recovery and rest is absolutely essential for building muscle. Some of the biggest people in the world only work out about 3 to 4 times a week, and that's plenty for them. Now, personally for me, I like to treat working out as like a 9 to 5 job. I do Monday through Friday, and then I give myself the weekends to rest. That way I can have fun, I can relax, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself, but Monday through Friday, I'm locking in and getting my routine right. Because at the end of the day, rest and recovery is when growth actually happens. You grow when you recover, not when you're grinding yourself into the floor 7 days a week. Myth number 6 is if you stop working out, muscle turns into fat. Muscle and fat are completely different tissues. One doesn't simply turn into the other. Now, if you stop training and eat too much, yes, you will gain fat, but it's not conversion per se. It's like saying an orange can turn into a donut. They're just completely different things. Myth number 7 is that supplements are essential. Supplements are like icing on a cake. Most of your results come from training, diet, and sleep. Now, protein powders, creatine, and pre-workout can definitely help, but they aren't magic. So it's important to understand that you have your basics dialed in before you're dropping $300 at GNC and expecting overnight results. More importantly, your nutrition has to be aligned with your fitness goal. For example, if you want to get bigger and build a whole bunch of muscle, but you're only consuming 1,700 calories and 40 grams of protein a day, you're never gonna look like how you want, because the biology just isn't adding up. Your nutrition goal has to match your fitness goal. So if you wanna get really big and build muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus and consume ample protein intake. Now, I will say supplements can be extremely helpful. Things like creatine have a lot of data to back them up, and it's also really cheap, so why not get it? And then in terms of your protein goal, protein powder can be extremely helpful in helping you hit your protein goal. For example, I consume about 200 grams of protein a day, which would be pretty difficult to achieve from food alone. So I do consume protein powder and I do consume creatine. And I do like to get a little extra active for my workouts, so I do consume pre-workout. But it's important to note that your nutrition as a whole has to be perfected before you're spending a ton of money on supplements. Moreover, there are a ton of supplements with extremely bold claims with no results. So it's important to note that if you are investing in supplements, you're getting ones that are actually based and founded in science. And to be honest, I think there's really only 3 I would consider, and that's protein powder, creatine, and pre-workout. Things like BCAAs, EAAs, fat burners, all of these other ones, there's very little science to actually show how much they benefit people who are working out. Myth number 8, sweating means you're burning more fat. Now, this one is wild that people still believe. And I guess I kind of see where people are coming from, because you have the illusion that you're burning more fat and all this sweat is just calories draining out, but that is not how it works, unfortunately. Simply, sweat is your body trying to cool itself down. It's not a measurement of fat loss whatsoever. Sweating more doesn't mean you're burning more calories. And there's a million companies trying to sell you this, which is wild to me. Like sauna companies saying that if you go in the sauna, you're gonna burn so many more calories, you're gonna get absolutely more shredded. But once again, there isn't any science to back this up. Now, I will say that when you go into a sauna, you will lose a lot of sweat, and sweat does contain sodium, which is something that your body uses to maintain water weight. So you may look leaner getting out of the sauna because your body is retaining less water weight, but this isn't actually fat loss, and it's imperative that you understand this. Focus on effort and progress, not how soaked your shirt is. Myth number 9 is that machines are useless. And I still see people throwing this around, which is pretty mind-blowing to me. Now, don't get me wrong, free weights are great. I love them, and they help build your core strength and stabilize your muscles. But they're not absolutely essential, and generally they do have an increased risk of injury. So that's why I think machines should be a part of honestly everybody's workout program. They help you effectively target a muscle with more isolation with less injury risk. So it's kind of a no-brainer. For example, I love to bench press. It's one of my favorite lifts of all time. But the hammer strength incline chest press machines are some of the best exercises you could do to grow a nice chest. And they have, once again, a significantly less risk of injury. First of all, machines are great for beginners, they're great for hypertrophy, and they're great for isolation work. So you should definitely do them. Now, the last myth on this list is you need to constantly switch up your workouts to confuse your muscles. Now, there is nothing to back this up, and I'd suggest honestly the complete opposite, and here's why. Progress comes from progressive overload, not just random workouts. To see effective muscle growth, you want to perform the same exercises consistently over and over and over again. And with time, we can either increase reps or increase weight to help you see results. If we're constantly switching up our workouts, it makes it hard for progressive overload to occur because we have nothing that is measured that we can increase. Simply, muscle confusion is a marketing gimmick. You don't have to constantly mix up your routine to see results. And one of the reasons I don't always post my workouts is because I do a lot of the same things every day. And that might not get as many clicks or as many views because it probably will get a little bit boring, but it's how I see good results. Progressive overload is simply being able to constantly increase the challenge of an exercise, either by increasing the weight or increasing the reps. So for example, if you're doing bicep curls and you're doing 70 pounds on a curl bar for 8 reps, by the end of 3 weeks, we can now do 10 reps. That's progressive overload. Or if we increase the weight to 80 pounds. These are examples of progressive overloads. And if you're constantly switching up your workouts, it makes it really difficult to track. So by doing a lot of the same workouts consistently, we can really hone in on progressive overload and make sure we see measured growth and progress inside the gym. All right, well, those are 10 gym myths officially debunked, and I hope this video helped. Now, if you're looking to get in the best shape of your life, I'm offering one-on-one coaching, which you can apply for in the description below. I'll create you a custom workout plan, a custom nutrition plan, and hold you accountable each and every day to ensure that you see the best results inside the gym. I've transformed thousands of physiques, and yours could be the next. So if you're interested, make sure you click the link in the description below. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe, and comment below what's the dumbest gym myth you've ever heard. I'm gonna respond to the best ones. Also, if you wanna support this channel, I'm officially sponsored by Able, which makes some of the best gym apparel you'll ever find. So if you wanna get a great deal on some of the coolest gym apparel, use code Hager at checkout for an extra 10% off your order. And remember, science over hype, always. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.